सभी दोस्तों को मेरा नमस्कार. Welcome to you all in my NCERT series. In our NCERT, today we will cover Old NCERT Geography Class 6, Chapter 5, Realms of the Earth. So let's begin with the chapter. The term realms of the Earth, that means the various aspects, the main components of the Earth. Let's read the lines first. Earth is a unique planet because it contains life. This has been possible because of three important things which sustain life: land, water, and air. The domain of the earth, consisting of its crust, that means rocks including stones and soils, is known as lithosphere. The domain of the waters of the earth's surface is known as the hydrosphere. The realm of the air which surrounds the earth is known as the atmosphere. The narrow zone where all these three domains come in contact with each other, that is called biosphere. In this picture, you can see there is sunlight, and this is lithosphere. Then we have hydrosphere, then we have biosphere, then we have atmosphere. The domain of the earth consisting of its crust, which includes rocks, stones, and soils. Crust is the uppermost layer of the lithosphere. Why our earth is a very special planet? Because it has three most important things. And what those three things are: land, water, and air. So this is land, this is water, and this is air. This makes our earth a very special planet. The domain of water in earth, that is called hydrosphere. पृथ्वी पे जल के एक बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट को हम हाइड्रोस्फीयर बोलते हैं. Then we move to air. So air means this atmosphere. The realm of the earth that surround the earth is known as atmosphere. And there is a very narrow sphere which includes these all: lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. So could you imagine which part is that? So that part would be this biosphere. See, in this picture, this is a biosphere where we can find air, where we can find hydrosphere, where we can find lithosphere. So this picture itself is a depiction of biosphere. Bio means life. So it is the zone which contains all the form of life. So let's understand the very first realm of the earth, that is lithosphere. Lithosphere means the crust or the outer skin of the earth. It includes all the big and small land masses which are found on the earth. About 1/3 of the earth's surface is covered by land. Large land masses are called continents. Similarly, large water bodies are called oceans. All the oceans of the world are connected with one another. Therefore, the level of sea water remains the same everywhere. This level of sea is called sea level. So all the land masses, whether that is small or big, that will come under lithosphere. The 1/3 of Earth's surface is covered by land. धरती का 1/3, हमारी अर्थ का 1/3 भाग जो है वो lithosphere है. Those bigger part of the land masses, those larger masses of the land are called continents. और उसी तरह जो हमारी वाटर बॉडीज हैं, अर्थ नॉट ओनली कंसिस्ट ऑफ ओनली लैंड, इट हैज वाटर ऑल्सो, इट हैज एयर ऑल्सो. अर्थ के सरफेस में जो अनदर रिमेनिंग पार्ट है वो है वाटर का. सो यहाँ पर हम क्या समझते हैं कि अर्थ का जो सरफेस है दैट इज मेनली कंसिस्ट ऑफ टू पार्ट्स, विच इज लैंड एंड वाटर. In hydrospheres also, the large water bodies are also has a name, that is called oceans. We call the larger water bodies as oceans. The speciality of these water bodies is they are all connected with each other. Why they are connected? So that the water level that remains same everywhere. That means from here we measure the height of the land masses, bigger land masses, and from here only we measure the depth of the oceans or the water bodies. As you all must be knowing about, the highest peak of the earth is Mount Everest, which is 8,848 meters above the sea level. Why sea level? Because just now I told you every bigger land masses on the lithosphere on the earth will be measured from the sea level. See, the highest peak is Mount Everest. At the same time, the greatest depth in the earth is Mariana Trench, which is about 11,022 meters deep below sea level. In lithosphere, we just understood continents. The larger land parts are called continents. So let's read it first. There are 7 major land masses or continents on the earth. They are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. So these are the continents. Mainly, there are 7 continents. Most of the land area of the earth lies in the northern hemisphere. Asia is largest of all continents. It lies in the northern hemisphere. Africa is the second largest continent next to Asia. The equator passes halfway through the continent so that the northern half of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere, while the southern half is in the southern hemisphere. The continent of North America is linked to the continent of South America at Panama's eastern border. Australia is the smallest continent and lies entirely in the southern hemisphere, and it is often called the island continent. The Australia is called the island continent because it is surrounded by water from all sides. This picture gives a clear detail about the continents of the earth that I've just told you. There are 7 continents: Australia, Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, North America, and Antarctica. So these are the 7 continents of the earth. As you can see, the Asian continent is the biggest of all. See, our India is also comes under Asia, and this equator that defines the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So Asia almost lies in the northern hemisphere. As here you can see, Europe and Asia, both continents are a part of a continuous land. The Aral Mountains, they separate the Asia from Europe. There is one Aral River as well. So sometimes we even call the Europe and the Asia combinedly as Eurasia. Sometimes they are not considered as the separate continents. They are sometimes called Eurasia because of this continuous land. But for all practical purposes, they are considered as 2 different continents. Then comes the Africa. So Africa is the second largest continent of the earth. और आप यहाँ पर देख पा रहे होंगे ये इक्वेटर है जो अफ्रीका को 2 parts में divide करता है. The upper part is called Northern Africa and this southern part is called Southern Africa. Then comes the North America and the South America. North America and South America are connected by Panama Eastern border. जो नॉर्थ अमेरिका और साउथ अमेरिका है वो आपस में पनामा ईस्टर्न बॉर्डर नाम से एक छोटे से लैंड मास से कनेक्टेड है. हम देखेंगे ऑस्ट्रेलिया जो सारे कॉन्टिनेंट्स में से सबसे छोटा है. ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज द स्मॉलेस्ट कॉन्टिनेंट ऑफ ऑल. It lies entirely in the southern hemisphere, as you can see. As it is surrounded by water from all the sides, sometimes it is also referred as island continent. Another continent is Antarctica. And further lines in this slide says Antarctica is rather a big continent, bigger than Europe and Australia put together. It is the only continent which is devoid of permanently settled human population. The southern pole lies in the middle of this continent, Antarctica, and this whole continent remains entirely covered with the deep ice and snow throughout the year. And it is the only continent which is not having any human settlement in it. ये एक इकलौता ऐसा कॉन्टिनेंट है जिसमें ह्यूमंस नहीं रहते हैं. सो इस तरह हमने अपने 7 कॉन्टिनेंट को देखा. नाउ इन लिथोस्फीयर वी विल फर्दर अंडरस्टैंड डिफरेंट लैंड फॉर्म्स. Mountains, a mass of land considerably higher than the surrounding area. Mountains often consist of a series of parallel ranges extending over hundreds of kilometers. Himalayas are the examples. Mountains such as Himalayas are very high and have pointed peaks because they are young in age. On the other hand, mountains such as Aravallis are low and have rounded features because they are very old. So what are mountains? You all must have seen mountains. They are considerably higher compared to the surrounding area they are in. These mountains are generally in parallel ranges. Himalayas are extended from extreme northeast in Arunachal Pradesh to India's extreme north in Jammu Kashmir. This whole range from Jammu Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh, that is a mountain range. You can see India's map, and here these lines they show the Himalayan range. So a group of very high hills usually forming a long chain called ranges, the Himalayan range. They are very steep at their top because they are very young mountains compared to the Aravallis. Those are in round shape in the top, which shows they are old mountains. A broad and rather level stretch of land rising sharply above the neighboring lowland, that is called plateaus. So some plateaus extend over thousands of square kilometers. The Deccan Plateau is an example, and Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. In this picture you can see a small plateau which is extending hardly a few kilometers, but there are plateaus which are extended for thousands of kilometers. A big example of that is Deccan Plateau. We will know about the other parts later on, but for now, just see, this is the Deccan Plateau. Now we'll move to plains. A relatively flat and low-lying land surface is called plains. Most of the plains are formed by the rivers and their tributaries. The Great Northern Plains of India are a good example of this kind. So how these plains are formed? They are mostly formed by the rivers and their tributaries. What rivers do? They usually flow down the slopes of the mountains and they erode them, and they carry forward that sediments with them, and they deposit that load that they are carrying consist of the stone and sand along the courses in their valleys, and from those valleys the plains are formed. This is Indian map and we just saw the Deccan Plateau in it. See, above the Deccan Plateau there is the northern plains. See, here is the Himalayan range. These Himalayas are the origin of various rivers including Ganga and Yamuna. These rivers, they erode these mountains and they carry those sediments into the northern plains, and they deposit sediments into these areas and they become the northern plains. See how simple it is to learn this plain concept. In this image, you can see the plains formed by the rivers. Now we will learn hydrosphere. Water in Earth covers nearly 2/3 of the Earth's surface. Oceans, being huge bodies of water, constitute the major part of the hydrosphere. They are huge bodies of water which are generally separated by continents. See, in this image you have seen the 7 continents that our Earth has. As I told you, 1/3 part of the Earth is the land, the continent area. The remaining 2/3 part of the Earth is the hydrosphere, which includes these oceans. We have Pacific Ocean, we have Atlantic Ocean, we have Indian Ocean, and we have Arctic Ocean. The extension of Pacific, Atlantic and Indian Ocean that forms the Southern Ocean. Let's read these lines first. In order of size, the major oceans are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. As I have just shown you, the extension of the Pacific, Atlantic and Indian Ocean around the Antarctica is called the Southern Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest of all. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest ocean in the world. The Atlantic Ocean is flanked by North and South Americas on one side and Europe and Africa on the other side. Atlantic Ocean is the busiest ocean from the point of view of the commerce. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, namely India. It indicates the importance of India in the international trade in former times. This ocean is bounded by the land on 3 sides: Africa in the west, Asia in the north, and Australia in the east. The Arctic Ocean surrounds the North Pole and lies with the Arctic Circle. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. So as we can see, Pacific Ocean, this is called the Ring of Fire that we will learn later on. This round shaped part is Pacific Ocean, and this Pacific Ocean is the deepest of the all other oceans. It is having the Mariana Trench in it, which is the deepest part of Earth. And when we learn about Atlantic Ocean, in one side it is bounded by North America and South America. You can see this Atlantic Ocean is in S shape, whereas on other side it is having Europe and Africa as its surroundings. This ocean is called busiest ocean of the world. Maximum trade takes place through this Atlantic Ocean. And Indian Ocean is the only ocean which is named after a country, that is India. This shows the importance of India in the ancient times, that a whole ocean is named after India. The Indian Ocean is surrounded by land from 3 sides, as you can see: Africa in west side, Asia in north side, and Australia in eastern side. In last, we have Arctic Ocean, which usually surrounds the North Pole. So this whole area is the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean meet Pacific Ocean through a narrow strait which is called the Bering Strait. It is almost here in this part. So now the third sphere is atmosphere. The air envelope surrounding the Earth is called the atmosphere. It extends up to 1600 kilometers above the Earth's surface. In fact, about 97% of the air of this atmosphere is found very close to the Earth's surface. The air is a mixture of gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. The air near the Earth's surface has fairly constant proportion of these gases, which are nitrogen, that is 78%, oxygen, which is 21%, and other gases, they comprises of the rest 1% by the volume. The density of the atmosphere varies with height. It is the highest sea level and goes on decreasing rapidly upwards. The temperature of the atmosphere also decreases as we go upwards. The pressure of the atmosphere on the Earth's surface varies from place to place. The difference in air pressure makes the air move, and moving air is known as wind. In this graph you can see the proportion of atmosphere and the density of the air which is very close to the Earth, that is at this point near to the sea level, it is highest, and as we go upwards the atmospheric density tends to reduce. As we move upwards the temperature also decreases. And the important thing here is the atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure is not constant everywhere, it is different at different places. Suppose here it is low pressure, so the air will rush from a high pressure zone to the low pressure area to cover the place. So the atmospheric pressure makes the air rush from one place to another place. जो हवा बहती है तेजी से उसका कारण है जो वायु दाब है उसमें अंतर होना है. अब हम समझेंगे बायोस्फीयर. There is a very narrow zone where land, water and air come in contact with each other. Because of an ideal situation, all living things which like different types of organisms and plants are found in this zone. This is called biosphere. The organism in the biosphere vary in the size from minute bacteria to a huge tree or large whales. These organisms may be divided broadly into the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Human beings are the most important occupants of the biosphere. To meet our growing needs, we need more and more factories, thermal power stations, railways, motor vehicles, and so on. The smoke emitted from the factories, thermal power stations, and motor vehicle, etc., contains the harmful gases and the other particles. Up to certain level, nature can manage to purify itself, whether it can be the atmosphere or the lithosphere or the hydrosphere. But if these pollutants added in large quantities, they start damaging the air, land and water, and as a result total biosphere is affected. Let's understand this concept of biosphere from this image. See, here you can see 4 circles. Every circle represents one sphere. See, this circle is the atmosphere, this circle represents the lithosphere, this circle represents the hydrosphere, and this middle sphere represents the biosphere. As I told you, the biosphere is the combination of land, water and air. So this whole system is biosphere which we are living in. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का चैप्टर खत्म होता है, and thank you so much for watching.